Welcome to the Backyard Professor Chess videos. Let's do some more chess miniatures. Yeah, you guys seem to be liking this series, and I am loving presenting them because this is the fun stuff of chess. Now, let's get right to the action. I've got several games to show you guys. This is in the Olympiad 1960, Gutescu versus Fischer. Have you ever heard of this guy named Bobby Fischer? Let's watch how Gutescu manhandles Fischer, shall we? That's right. Let's just keep watching. Just keep watching. Watch this game carefully because there are some powerful moves in the opening. Fischer brings his bishop to put the pin on the knight, which means once again this is the square Fischer's aiming at because that's the square that knight is protecting, correct? Sums up the middle. Fischer's gonna chicken out and castle early. No, it's always good to chicken out and castle early for sure. Gutescu is no slouch, as Fischer is about to discover. Knight f3. Here we go. Fischer brings his knight out very appropriately. Gutescu does a trick move. He castles. Now Bobby starts getting a little bit greedy. He takes a central pawn and changes the nature of the chessboard in the center now. That's really important to grasp. Look at the development. Look at the position. Fischer now makes, a second move in the opening with his bishop before being fully developed. Is this going to hurt? Well, Gutescu realizes he's got a free move, so he says, okay, let's pin your knight. Although it's not a pin, Fischer goes, nothing doing, I'm going to go into the center anyway, and he eliminates Fischer's knight, which is really interesting because this pawn now, how was I going to show you this? Yes, this pawn is much further strengthened because he eliminated the knight, and this pawn is much further weakened because he eliminated the knight. Gutescu's doing something really interesting here, so Fischer better pay heed quickly. And what does he do? Oh, Bobby. He takes the pawn instead of exchanging the piece. This is in 1960, mind you. Gutescu returns, taking the pawn. Notice how the center has changed, and now Fischer takes the bishop. Wait, was that an intermediate exchange in the center that Fischer performed? Indeed it was. And he's still got his bishop. Here comes Gutescu pinning that all-important knight. Fischer's going to try to take the file. The queen is getting into this powerful centralization. Fischer bumps the doubled pawn weakness so that it's still at least attacking the center, right? Free pawn, man. This is fantastic. Take the pawn, and now what is the great Fischer going to do? This is one of the coolest tactics available for us. I have been sort of hinting that Gutescu was going to give Bobby a cream-out game, and Bobby was going to get into trouble to take your eye off the ball on purpose. So, because while we're playing chess, we don't see when there's a tactic available. but Bobby Fischer very rarely missed a tactic. I've been somewhat misguiding you on purpose simply because this tactic is outrageous. Fantastic. Bobby Fischer moves the bishop to take the pawn check, a sacrifice of the bishop, and white resigns because the attack on the king unveils a discovered attack against the queen, and therefore white lost. Yeah, I kind of played around a little bit with you and made you think, ooh, Bobby's in trouble, because sometimes that's what we think in our games, and we must keep our eye open for tactics. Hang on, I have more great chess games for you. There is our beloved great Bobby Fischer. Yeah, baby. This next game was played in 1996, our day, yes. This is by Ferraro and Navarro. Let's see what these two boys show us. E4, C5, we're looking at a Sicilian here. Let's see how this one is done. D6, a bishop B5, instantly check, the game is over. No, not yet, calm down, bishop D7. However, white now does exchange the bishop. So the queen bishop of black is gone, and the king bishop of white is gone. Let's see what white is thinking, for Pete's sake. What are you thinking, man? Let's keep watching. Black speedily brings his other minor pieces out. Always an important theme, and white pushes the e-pawn. Now what's going on? What is the point of such an early extra pawn move? Let's take a look. D takes e5. Get rid of the central pawn, of course. Knight takes e5. What is the point? The queen's not in any danger. She can just move away. So why would he make that extra pawn move? And now he brings up the d4. The c will take the d4. Black has the central pawns and white does not. What is white doing? Bishop f4. Now, we have an interesting setup. Do you see what white has done? He's lost his central pawns, which means he can bring his pieces out faster with less hindrance and set up tactics. E6. Black didn't see it coming, do you? There's something really, really astonishing about to happen here. And this is what keeps us coming back to chess. Knight G6. And he resigns. Black resigns because the game is over. He's going to lose the exchange. Fundamentally so. The queen will move. He lost the rook. Just like that. So be careful of tactics with discovered attacks. Hang on, I've got another one to show you. That one wasn't as slapdash as some of them, but the tactic was superb. We now bump back to 1973 between Meadow and Zunker. Let's see what these two show us. A Sicilian again. Always love to see Sicilians played because it's such a fantastic defense for black if you know what you're doing. So it looks to me like we're going into the exchange, which gives us the open Sicilian. Here we go. All typical opening stuff at this point. C4, you kind of got a Maroczy bind there. Knight F6, Knight C3. Knight will exchange the knight right now. Let's do the exchange. It gets the queen out right now. But notice that was the queen knight that he exchanged. So now he can't develop with tempo to chase the queen away. So what does black do in this case? The proper thing. He builds up his center. White will keep developing. Black will fianchetto. White will keep developing. Black will castle. Very good so far. Everything's looking good. Queen will come down to d2. Don't want a discovered attack on the queen, right? Because the bishop was going to hit that queen. Coming here loses a pawn for him. Queen will come to a5, and now white will castle. Good job, white. Got a castle in your chess games. You just have to. Rook to d8. What? What is black doing? Bishop h6. Yeah, did you see that? This is real important to see the patterns in these miniatures. It's what makes them miniatures. And now black really blows it. Bishop h8? No. Look, in this kind of a situation, if your opponent does have the chance to bop the bishop to h6 to exchange your bishop, doggone it, you got to exchange the bishop. In most cases, don't retreat to bishop h8 like this, because now we've got knight d5. Did you see that discovered attack on the black's queen? And you're going, dude, the knight can't touch the black queen. No, but the queen can. So, can't the queen just take the queen? Yes, but then you've got checkmate. Ha ha ha! Nifty! Nifty! Again, that theme of the discovered attack on a major piece is all important to notice. But don't go away, man. I've got another great miniature for you. Let's come up to 1993 between Conzavelli and Running. What are these guys going to demonstrate to us? Well, let's take a look. 4 knights defense, perhaps? Nope. Not this time, maybe next time. We're going to get a good solid game of very interesting chess that looks like there's going to be a lot of fianchettos with the bishops, which there are. Bishop to g2 and bishop to b7. So we've got fianchetto on the same diagonal. And of course the Russian to the center with the pawns to minimize that powerful diagonal eventually, hopefully, or else use it if the best man can find a way to use that central diagonal. In the meantime, get the kings to safety, always a good thing, and once you do that, bring out the knights. However, we already have a center attack. So, this is going to be really interesting to see how white handles this. He brings another piece into the game. Yes? Now, the knight exchanges the knight, but that is the third knight move of black. Observe the difference in development. This is a really important element. Understand black is behind in development. Sort of. I know. Shut up and play the game. You don't know what you're talking about. Oh, yeah. We have the central thrust again, challenging the occupation of the center by the pawns, instead of just influencing it from afar, even though it is also that. Look at the discovered attack here. And you go, what discovered attack? The knight just went to g5. Look at the bishop. And yet, look at the checkmate. Queen to h7, mate, game over. Again, that discovered attack tactic. a piece in front of a bishop, or in front of a rook, or in front of a queen, doesn't matter, but a short-range piece hiding and masking the long-term effect, and now having an absolute fantastic threat of mate. Whoa. The bishop has to take the knight. Otherwise, it's checkmate, right? So this bishop will take that bishop, and he nets a rook as well. Superbo! Superbo! However, look, this bishop isn't done yet. You've got a bishop. Look, you're going to lose the exchange here. So you may as well get maximum effect as you can. However, observe, there is no reason yet to rush to take that rook, because the rook's not going anywhere. So the proper way to make this exchange so that you come out ahead is take the bishop first, not the rook, because the rook's not getting away, but the bishop could. So take it first, right? Knight to d7, now take the rook, of course, and the queen will take the bishop, and the rook comes to d1, and here's where black resigned, because he's down the exchange. White will have the superior position. He's getting ready to open up the central files. Game over as far as black was concerned. Hold on! I've got another one for you that's a real screamer. What I am about to show you is one of the most underappreciated chess games in all of the annals of chess history. It sounds grandiose, but I'm not kidding. This game is simply electrifying, and it's against two of the best. Rudolf Spielmann, the white, and Akiba Rubinstein plays the black. This was in 1911. Understand, Spielmann was a tough nut to crack. He was so good. Rubinstein was the master, bar none, of the endgame, especially with rooks. These two are seriously going to go head-to-head. Fantastic chess players, both of them. This is going to be a game that's really worth recognizing, seeing, and appreciating. Knight f6, here we go. Rubinstein. Spielmann wastes no time. He sticks that bishop right out there. Rubinstein will follow. Whoops, sorry. He will follow. Then Spielmann castles and Rubinstein castles. Do you notice something really interesting about this game yet? Spielmann will bump the queen pawn. Rubinstein will bump the queen pawn. It's perfectly symmetrical. Now, don't grandmasters know better than that? Well, you can do symmetrical openings, just don't take it too far. Let's keep watching the action. Bishop g5, speedy development, challenging for the central squares, these specifically. All four. Those are being contested with all these flinging of the bishops out here, pinning knights everywhere. And now Rubinstein takes the knight. Blam. Spielmann says, "Drat you, man, I wanted that knight." And don't kid yourself, he did want that knight. Because now the d5 square is all the weaker. Because the knight does not help support that d5 square. So let's keep watching the action here. Queen comes to e7. Rubinstein immediately begins to pounce, and he says, wait a minute, I see something. Spielmann says, no, you don't. Rubinstein says, yes, I do. I'm going to rearrange my pieces in a better position. And Rubinstein says, or Spielmann says, no, 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 I'm going to attack you in the center, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. And Rubinstein says, I am going to readjust and regroup. A very important concept in the opening here. What is he trying to accomplish? Let's take a look. The next couple of moves is one of the reasons why I was so determined to show you this game. It's going to blow our minds. You won't believe the caliber of player such as Spielmann does what he's about to do. Utterly breathtaking against the monster Akiba Rubinstein. Spielmann had the guts to do this? Let's watch the action. Bishop to c1. Okay? Spielmann says, okay. Tickles the bishop. Spielmann, astonishingly, puts both of his bishops back on their original squares on move 11 and 12. We're in the opening. You're not supposed to move a piece twice, more or less, as a general rule, but to undo your development against Rubinstein? Wow! I don't know if I have ever seen this in a Grandmaster game before. This is mind-boggling. Now, Rubinstein can mow him over. What's he doing? Laying down and exposing his belly like a wolf does to submit? Let's keep watching. Let's keep watching. And more to the point, Rubinstein says, oh yeah, I'll grab the D. You betcha. Let's do this, man. Spielmann, nonetheless, does something astonishingly remarkable here. Knight h4, d5, absolutely. Now notice that the bump with the pawn helps balance the tension in the center. So, I mean, there's enormous tension in this center right now. Don't kid yourself. But he balances it. Very interesting how he does this. Why would he do that? Spielmann begins an attack. Watch how this unfolds. And you go, wait, hold on. Yeah, just you hold on. Let's keep watching this. Now observe the central thrust. This is so interesting how Spielmann does this. Look at that monster knight of Rubinstein. That's a permanent outpost, you guys. No pawn can chase that knight away, and he's aiming right at the king. Is this the effect of Spielmann undoing his development? Most assuredly so. Is he going to be able to recover? Let's take a look. He takes the pawn with his pawn and completely destroys his own king cover. He has undone his development. Rubinstein has been able to post a monster outpost knight, and now Spielmann destroys his king cover. What? Let's keep watching the action. F5. Spielmann will take F6 by en passant. The knight will come off its outpost. He does not want to break open his king side. He has magnificent guards of his king. Rubinstein is sitting really, really well. Spielmann has a knight off to the side, and he literally lacks any development except for the rook on the open file. That's all he has. So let's keep watching, because now Spielmann presses the pawn, and the knight will come to f8, guarding the king. Now the queen will make her entrance into the game, and the queen will come on over to the king side. You can see neither player technically, after all, is leaving their king exposed, are they? This is getting hairy. Spielmann brings his bishop back out. Rubinstein further develops a piece. He will bring his other bishop back out in a much more flexible manner. And there's a key to this game. Fantastically interesting. Unbelievably so. Because it doesn't appear, and now bishop e5. It doesn't appear that Rubinstein can get anything going. And Spielmann undid his development. Spielmann destroyed his own king cover, and now he's setting up the attack. How can this be possible? For one reason, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to show you this game. Spielmann was perfectly okay in his shocking taking back his development because the center was secure with his pawns. With the center that's not open, nothing can come crashing through to attack. And that's exactly what we've seen. Rubinstein, great as he was, could not find a way into Spielmann's camp. And now he has developed into an attacking posture. Rubinstein is going to literally be forced into a defensive mode. Remarkably interesting how this works. King will go to h1, c4, bishop will go to e2, bishop c6. Here comes Rubinstein. Queen bumps to f4. The knight will come back out, again supporting the f6, because that knight is a powerful guardian of the king side. If you can support that knight, and believe me, that knight is rock solid, then you're not going to have any stupid, ridiculous, sacrificial shenanigans by your opponent. However, let's take a look at how Spielmann will handle this. Rook e8, and now rook e2. Okay. The beginning of a masterful demonstration of how to set up your attack position. When they start bumping rooks, there's going to be something happening. Rook will come to f8. Excuse me. The other rook will come to g1. The queen will bump back to e8. And the rook at 2 will go to g2. And now, look at Spielmann's position. Excuse me. This is a fabulous setup. And Rubinstein can't seem to stop him. Queen h6. Fantastic pin of the g-pawn by Spielmann, isn't it? An absolutely over-aggressive attack by Spielmann against the great Rubinstein, isn't it? This is amazing. You got to get out of that pin There's no question. And now, here comes the troops. Knight g6 check. H will take g6. Queen will come to h8 check. Knight will bump back to g8. Bishop will come to d6. Notice the tactical motif here. The pinning of the rook to the king. Don't underestimate the power of a pin. Queen comes to d8. Rook will take g6. Here it comes. Knight will come up to f6. Again, that magnificent guardian of the king. At this point, one of Vladimir Vukovic's main tenets in the art of attacking chess is, if you're going to do a kingside, you must be willing to sacrifice material. It's not about the value of the pieces. It is about getting the king open so that you can checkmate the king. Spielmann masterfully shows this against one of the all-time greats. Rook's simply going to take that knight now. Notice the pin against that rook. This is so critically important. The rook will take the knight, so Spielmann willingly goes down the exchange because he has a second rook to take the pawn. And it's here that Rubinstein resigned. Because of that pinned rook, he's in trouble. He can't win this game, so he resigns. So Spielmann, now granted, this isn't a miniature as such, but it was a spectacular discourse on seeing Spielmann set up a terrific attack using phenomenal tactics, especially the pin. So there is your chess video for the day. I have so much fun using these games and studying miniatures. I appreciate you guys subscribing. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your likes and all that jazz. You're a great audience. This is a lot of fun. And no joke, I've spent the entire last week finding more phenomenal chess game miniatures for you. So stick around. This series of chess miniatures is going to keep right on going. So, be good, do well, have fun, work hard, be happy, and I will see you in the next Backyard Professor Chess video.